So, a very good evening
Good evening.
and a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Sambhasha Foundation. Uh, just a couple of lines about Sambhasha Foundation. We are a non political, non biased organization which works in the field of cultural studies and languages. And we strongly believe that all these things have to be done based on solid research through the archaeological and historical and research tools, scientific tools. Uh, Study group is our monthly program, which is free for all. And here we have created this as a platform for everyone who is in the field of cultural studies, historical studies, languages, and anyone who could contribute to this knowledge base. Uh, and today we have Rohan Kale, a young and dynamic person. You can see him, and of course, so many of you must have already read about him or seen his work on television channels as well. uh, it's a phenomenal work. I'm sure once he starts we will get to know much more. But discovering 1600 plus stepwells in Maharashtra and trying to conserve them and preserve them, and all of this through public participation, is a very, very important thing. It's a Herculean task, believe me. But maybe because Rohan, you are an HR professional, maybe public participation was easier for you to generate. I don't know how you did it, and we would like to hear about all those things from you directly. So I won't stand between you and Rohan, and over to you, Rohan. Thank you for accepting to be our resource person for this month's study group. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thanks, ma'am, for giving me an opportunity actually to present this Maharashtra Stepwells campaign to the audience. Yeah. Now, why stepwells? Stepwells are the most neglected part of architecture and the most important part of architecture basically for water conservation. Our ancestors have built numerous stepwells across Maharashtra, but they are lying in a state of misery. And that is the reason we have taken up this stepwell campaign. Now, just mapping or just documenting stepwells or just putting stepwells pics on Facebook or YouTube would not help. So this requires a campaign only, basically. So that is the reason we decided to launch this campaign at a massive scale. Like I was previously working with a company called as Sun Pharma, where I was working as a HR manager and taking care part of the recruitment side. So that is the reason my people connect is very good. And I reside in Mumbai, but I'm also an avid traveler and trekker basically. I used to trek in the Sahyadri since 2012. I've explored approx about 125 to 150 forts in Maharashtra. So that is the reason the love for travel started. And when I started exploring stepwells in Maharashtra, they were lying in a very neglected state. So then I decided to launch this campaign through people's participation. Now for this reason, I took a career break actually, and I wanted to launch this campaign in the month of March 2020. That time I had left my job, and even my parents were against my decision to leave the job of a sudden rush, and they were like, "What are you going to do?" and everything like this. So I told them, "Just be patient. There is something on my mind which I want to pursue. So I will let you know once it is done." Then in the month of March only, unfortunately my last day at work, and the same. Then I could not travel anywhere basically for 2 months. And then again the rainy season starts. That is June, July, August, September, even October. October, I remember I had gone to Alibag to visit a few stepwells. I could hardly see one step of that stepwell. Then I decided to wait for another 1 month. In the month of November, I started on my bike. This was a journey of 14,000 kilometers across Maharashtra to explore stepwells. Personally explored 400 stepwells within 5 months with the help of local heritage explorers, the historians, Indologists, the archaeologists, geologists, and the numerous people across Maharashtra and the I have gone to the deep interiors of Maharashtra basically to explore each and every step well. There were numerous people who came forward, took a break, a day's break from their job, came along with me on my bike, or I visited like this stepwells on their bike. They explored me, they showed me the stepwells. I even went to the forest area or climbed a few mountains as well to explore this stepwells. It was an amazing journey basically. I remember I had gone to Konkan region and then Paschim Maharashtra, South Maharashtra. The journey was like from November to December. I traveled for 21 days. I went to First, I went to Raigad, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Goa for 4 days. Then it was some part of Kolhapur, Jyotiba Dungar, Panara Fort. Then I went to Pune region, Satara, Wai side. Then Pune and back to Mumbai. In 21 days, I explored approx about 112 stepwells in one trot. Then at that time, Durgavir Pratishthan, which is a reputed organization doing Durga Samvardhan Karya, conservation work at forts, they helped me a lot basically during my journey in the Konkan region. When I came back, I again rested for 10 days. And then again, I started traveling. Then Jan to Feb, I traveled to Marathwada, Vidarbha. In 22 days, I explored 180 stepwells in one go. Then after in the between, I was also exploring few stepwells in the vicinity, like in Pune region, Ahmednagar region, for 3 to 5 days each. So the entire journey was about approx about 14,000 kilometers on my bike. Amazing journey. People actually treated me like their brother or their like son. They even gave me accommodation in some places, gave me food. I, they used to tell me about this, which areas are safe to go, which areas are not safe to go. Amazing journey. I will just show you one slide, maybe, which I've prepared, which I normally show in the webinar. Hello. Uh, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it's
Hello.
visible.
Yeah, yeah. Now, stepwells are in different architectural forms across Maharashtra. The local words for stepwells, I will just briefly introduce the local words for stepwells. In Paschim Maharashtra, it is commonly referred to as Barav, Barav, or Pyrancha Vihri, or in some parts it is also called as Vihir, Vihir. Like if you see the Baramukachi Vihir or Karmalachi Vihir, which is a 96 steps well, but it is commonly referred to as Vihir. And some parts it is called as Baudi, like in Aurangabad side, or if you go towards the Vidarbha side, Nagpur side, they commonly call it as Baudi or Bauli. If you go towards Konkan side, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, or even some parts of Raigad, they call it as Ghodebao, Okharbao, Pandavkalin Vihiri, or say Tali, which is built out of Chira Dagad, Zamba Dagad of Konkan. Then there is another form which is called as Pushkarni, Kunda is there, the Pokhran is there, and the helical stepwells. Helical stepwells are basically these round structured wells with steps leading to the well shaft in a spiral format. And there are this huge step tanks, like one if you see in the Mumbai region, Banganga side. So that is a huge step tank basically. So what is my vision? The vision I was very clear since the start. The vision is on six important points. One is the mapping and documenting thousands of step wells. The mapping, I'll just explain you one by one. Documenting thousands of step wells. The second part is the heritage conservation, water conservation, tourism development, stepwell deepotsav, and the study of the ancient and medieval trade routes, because the stepwells were built along the trade routes basically. And for this vision, the this are my goals basically. These are the sections which are actually needed for this campaign. The geologists, then the historians, the endologists, then the numerous photographers who have drones who can do the drone photography, then architects, etc. So this is actually the vision of Maharashtra Stepwells campaign. The first part is mapping. Now, I have read the British Gazetteer year 1881, which is uploaded on the Maharashtra Maharashtra State Gazetteer site. It states very clearly that Satara had 5,990 wells with steps. Solapur had 4,700. Pune had something around 3,500. Ahmednagar had something around 1,500. So that means that if just 4 to 5 districts are having a stepwell count of say 15,000, so just imagine entire Maharashtra must be having approx about 50,000 stepwells. Even if I take an upper limit of say 20, of say 50% must be destroyed or and gone in the road widening or something, or some buildings must have constructed on top of the stepwells. Even though we still have a scope to locate 20,000 stepwells across Maharashtra. And when it can be possible only through people's campaign. And so far, with the help of people across Maharashtra, we have tend to located approx about 1650 stepwells. In last few days, approx about few people have come to me and saying that they have located additional stepwells, which I will be mapping tonight. This For this purpose, for the mapping, I have taken a short vision first of 5 years, where and we will be creating village to village teams. Basically, we need to see this entire project from a very structured way, in terms of we need to set up sub level teams, taluka level teams, and then village to village teams for the coordination part. So I have a huge list of villages across Maharashtra. There are approx about 44,000 villages, and I tend to do the mapping in front of these villages only. Like if anyone asks me, say Rohan, which taluka has how many stepwells, I will be able to give this information in just one click. Like I can easily tell that this taluka has approx about 100 villages, and so far we have located say 17 or 20 stepwells in 10 villages. That means that we still have a scope to locate stepwells in those remaining 90 villages. Then the second part is like documentation. Now documentation will happen on 4 fronts. The written documentation checklist, wherein we can map, like we can write down that how many steps are there, then what is the stepwell shape, basically what is the well shaft shape, is it a one side entrance, two side entrance, three or four side entrance stepwell, then is there any pond nearby for the recharge system, is there any river flowing by, who owns this stepwell, and basic info like is there any arc, pulleys or niche in it. Then the heritage documentation, where Indologists and historians will club together as one team and do the heritage documentation, like this stepwell was built in which dynasty, by who has built this stepwell, and for what purpose, basically. Then if there are any shilalekhs, that is inscriptions, then the team who is doing the shilalik work will come forward, do the decoding of that shilalik and give us proper information. The third subsection is the architectural documentation. I'm briefing architectural colleges across Maharashtra through webinars as a guest lecturer. And so far, there are 14 architectural colleges across Maharashtra who are supporting this campaign. And since mid-April, mid-March or April onwards, we will be starting with the documentation part. That is the architectural documentation of stepwells. And the fourth is subsection is photographic documentation, wherein numerous photographers who have proper drones, high quality drones or something, They will be capturing the drone footage of the stepwells. Just imagine this numerous stepwells across Maharashtra. How beautiful they will look like. And the third part is the preservation and conservation. The preservation, we will be setting up teams. There are numerous Durga Samvardhan Samstars across Maharashtra who are strongly backing up this project, and they have shown active participation as well. There are numerous NGOs who have a good amount of volunteers. So even if we do basic cleaning of step wells, like removing the garbage and all that stuff, or like cutting the trees when once they grow, we can save 70% of the step wells. The third part like is conservation of step wells, where numerous conservation architects can come forward, collaborate with the state archaeology department, or raise funds through CSR and do the conservation part. Reviving of stepwells, like reviving, I have already approached the groundwater survey development agency head. I had a meeting with their team as well. I have briefed them about this project, and they have said that they will try to revive few stepwells across Maharashtra. Few NGOs I know, I have been in touch with few NGOs, and in last 2 months they have taken approx about 12 stepwells, whom they will start reviving the stepwells. Now, like as we are going in the right direction and going forward positively, I'm sure many NGOs will come forward and start reviving stepwells. Even the local Gram Panchayat level, this Sarpanch or Gram Panchayat can come forward and start reviving their respective village stepwells. The fifth part is the tourism development, where Maharashtra Tourism as such did not have a single mention of any stepwell on their website. In the month of August end, I had a meeting with the Joint Director of Maharashtra Tourism, Dr. Dhananjay Savarkar sir. I requested him that we have so far mapped 1,400 stepwells that time. So I requested him that if you can open a separate section of stepwells on the website, I will give the data of approximately 10 stepwells to begin with. You can upload them, as well as you can upload the map of the stepwells mapping which we have done on the website. They agreed to it, and in the month of September end, on the World Tourism Day, they revamped their website basically, and that day they opened a separate section of stepwells, and they have uploaded all the stepwells data which we have given them. And thanks to the Maharashtra Tourism as well. Then the Maharashtra Stepwell Deepotsav, which I normally tell to people before this webinar. Uh, I had numerous webinars, so I always used to tell people that we will be celebrating the Deepotsav on Maharashtra, on Mahashivratri, that is 1st of March. We did make it possible. 160 stepwells across Maharashtra were cleaned up in last 1 week, and we celebrated Deepotsav on those stepwells. It was a huge effort across Maharashtra by the teams and by the local villagers who came forward and have lit up their respective village stepwells. It was looking magnificent. Like, I would use this term in Marathi, like सोन्याने लख्ख झालेल्या असं बोलतात ना की our stepwells turned into bright gold basically. So this is the entire concept. In the state archaeology department, Dr. Tejas Garge sir, who is the state archaeology department head, knows about this project. Along with him, his 4 regional heads, they are also aware about this project, and I'm in touch with them. And under their guidance, maybe, or under their parameters, we will be doing the documentation part. Then the state GSDA, the former state GSDA department head, Bhujal Vibhag, his name is Dr. Mallinath Kalshetty sir. I have also met him, briefed him about this project. Then our state gazetteer head, Mr. Dilip Balsekar sir, he also is very much aware about this project. And they all are giving active support for this project. So this is how I've actually traveled across Maharashtra on my bike. I used to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I used to explore the stepwells for the whole day till 6 o'clock in the evening. From 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock, I used to brief each and everyone about the stepwell project. The same way I'm briefing you now, I used to brief them for an hour or two. Used to collect stepwells information from them, and then I have mapped it on the Maharashtra Stepwells map, which I will show in the next slide. So from 6 to 8 o'clock, I used to do this. 8 o'clock to 8:30, I used to go back to my hotel where I used to stay, or the place of residence of any of the heritage explorers. Then used to have dinner for half an hour. And from 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock in the midnight, or say 12:30 in the midnight, I used to map the stepples, like entire data which I've collected during the day in terms of the district, the taluka location, the GPS coordinates, the entire data which was clicked by my camera. Like I had carried this camera along with me, the wide angle lens. I used to transfer it to the Facebook account to compress the size of the pic and then upload it on the map. So, and because of this people support, we are able to set up a huge platform for this project basically. Where are the common locations of stepwells? Like you can see numerous stepwells on the Vyapari mark, the trade routes. After every say 6 to 7 kilometers, you will find a stepwell on the Vyapari mark trade routes, ancient medieval trade routes, or the Mahamargs. On Mahamargs only, now the national highways and state highways are being built. Now, if you go from Nashik towards Indore side and straight towards Agra side, so that Nashik to Indore has numerous stepwells being built along the roads, like just parallel to the roads. Then Ghatwata, that is the mountain passes. If you visit the Sahyadri range, it has numerous mountain passes. So you will find the numerous stepwells over there, like Made Ghat in your in Mahad Taluka in the Raigad district has a huge stepwell. Jyotirlinga, Ashtavinayak Shiv temples. Every old Shiv temple or any temple which is built out of rocks has basically one stepwell attached to it or in the vicinity. I can give you numerous examples of stepwells in the Trambakeshwar Taluka, Trambakeshwar, Bhimashankar, Shikar Shingnapur. There are four routes which are leading to Shikar Shingnapur, and we located 12 stepwells in all these four routes. Then Yatra routes, Pune to Pandharpur, Pune to Tulzapur, has numerous temples in each and every village basically. The local Gram Devat temples in the Konkan side or even in the state of Maharashtra basically. The Samadhis, Vadas, the hill, land, coastal, seaforts, numerous temples are built over there itself. Every village must be having one stepwell each for sure. And mostly, if you go towards Marathwada side or the Vidarbha side, you will find numerous stepwells being built from the Yadava dynasty. Marathwada itself has approximately about 50 plus stepwells built by the Yadavas in the 12th, 13th century. And if you see the Vidarbha stepwells, they are as huge as 3 storied or 5 storied. Because before this campaign started, people were hardly aware about this numerous stepwells. Like every time someone used to utter the word stepwells, people used to look at Gujarat or Rajasthan. Yes, definitely the stepwells are beautiful, are magnificent, but even Maharashtra has a rich heritage for stepwells. In Dhule district, we located approx about 3 stepwells which are 5 storied each. Amravati district, Mahimapur village has a 5 storied stepwell. So this is the Maharashtra Stepwells map basically. This is a old slide of 1400. Today's count is 1650. So what I've done is that I've created a custom Google map basically. And whoever gives me that location info, I upload it by his name, who has given the uh, pic photo information and who has given the location info. You have to click on any one of them. Just go to my blog site of www.indianstepwells.com. You will find this map over there. You have to click on the right hand side where I have done a rectangular mark, red circle mark. You have to click there. This entire stepwells data will get auto populated in your respective Google Maps. If you click any one of them, a stepwell photo will open up. If you like that stepwell, just hit on the direction button, a route map will start. You do not have to ask anyone as to where the stepwell is. Going forward, it will be a very digitalized platform. From the concept of books or Facebook blogs, you will find a very digitalized platform for stepwells. I will explain it in the later slides. So this is the village to village mapping of stepwells which we have created basically. Like if you see Y Taluka Baudhan has 4 stepwells. So I just keep uploading here. whichever data I get. So this is the village to village mapping of stepwells. I had created a Google form and I had circulated it in the across Maharashtra so that people can provide this information. Now I will showcase the magnificent architecture of Maharashtra. Stepwells in South Konkan, Raigad, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg. You can just have a look maybe. Like, I'll just keep this on for 30 seconds. If you see the Bokeh stepwell, Nakhre and Ganesh Gure stepwell, these are actually carved out of this Chira Dagad, the Zamba Dagad of Konkan. The width is only say 5 to 6 feet only, and they are approx about 30 to 35 steps or even 40 steps leading to the well shaft. There also the width is only 5 to 6 feet. So just imagine the kind of architecture our ancestors have built with no technology. Like they had some magnificent technology during that time, and just imagine how they used to locate the water, which was approx about 40 to 50 feet inside the ground, below the ground level, basically. So even with the help of modern technology, we will not be able to build such magnificent marvels which they have created in their times. These are the stepwells in North Konkan, Mumbai, Thane, Palghar region. Both the stepwells are in Palghar region. Recently, with the help of local teams in Palghar, we have 10 to map approximately 10 to 12 stepwells in Palghar district. These are stepwells in Paschim Maharashtra. लोणी बक्कर, बारामती, जेजुरी, पुरंदर, मनसर, आंबेगाव, Malkhan Rajwada stepwell again near Shirur side. Now Malkhan Rajwada, if you see, this is a magnificent stepwell. I have seen similar types of stepwells in Gandhinagar district of Gujarat, one near Baroda in Gujarat, one in Amravati, Changapur, one at Lucknow. So whoever has built the stepwells, they have built in that say 50 to 100 years period only. So because the architecture is very similar. Then one such stepwell is also there at Amravati, where the place is Pauni, which I will showcase in the next slide. Stepwells in Paschim Maharashtra, Ahmednagar. Now, if you see the Belwandi Kothar stepwell, Shrigonda, this must be a Yadav Kalin or maybe a Chalukya Kalin stepwell. Again, the Ranjangaon stepwell is also very similar to Belwandi Kothar stepwell. Belwandi Kothar stepwell has entrance from three sides and a mandap on one side. Even Brahmani stepwell is again a Yadav Kalin stepwell. Entrance from three sides and mandap on one side. Ratneshwar Mandir Pushkarni at Ratanwadi, Akole Taluk of Ahmednagar. So if many people tend to visit Ratangad Fort, Ratanwadi is the base village of Ratangad Fort. Do visit the stepwell as well as the temple. It is magnificent. Stepwells in North Maharashtra. Dhule, this is the stepwell I was talking of. This is a 5-storied stepwell in Dhule district. The restoration work was done by Maharani Ahilyabai Holkar, and that is the reason the village name is Ahilyapur. Stepwell again in North Maharashtra, Dhule, Karwand stepwell, Karwand village stepwell. This is again a 5-storied stepwell. So local people over there, they have formed a group now over there. Prashant Verma, my one of my like very close. I cannot call him a friend, but he is someone with whom I have a very good rapport with. Suresh Suryavansh Gada. They have formed a group and now they are trying to exploring the stepwells or any other form of architecture heritage they are trying to discover in the Dhule, Jalgaon, Nashik region. Stepwells in North Maharashtra. Like Doda Fort again is like a 3 or 4 storied stepwell. Naitare stepwell I've personally seen. This is a L-shaped stepwell. Mangrul stepwell is a two-side entrance stepwell. So the Barao, there were 4 types of Barao. In the ancient texts, it is mentioned as Barao is of 4 types. Nanda Barao. Nanda Barao is one-side entrance stepwell. Bhadra Barao is two-side entrance stepwell. Jaya Barav is 3-side entrance stepwell and Vijaya Barav is 4-side entrance stepwell. So this Mangalore stepwell is Bhadra type stepwells in South Maharashtra. This is Dategad stepwell. Once in a lifetime, do visit Dategad stepwell. Once you go at the bottom, you will, and if you look above, it is actually a sword shaped stepwell carved out of that rock basically. Dategad stepwell. It actually looks like a sword. Panara is quite famous. Panara fort has a two-storied stepwell. Karmara stepwell. Karmara, this stepwell is 96 steps. It is a huge stepwell. Stepwells in Marathwada. I personally like the stepwells in Marathwada. All of them belong to the Yadava Kalin. So Charthana stepwell, Pingleshwar, Nagnath, Arvi, Raipur, Bandeshwar. I will make special mention of two stepwells. Nagnath Mandir stepwell. Nagnath Mandir stepwell was completely dilapidated. Completely dilapidated. The people over there, the locals, came forward, and this was done before the launch of this campaign, some 3 years back. They self contributed this entire project of the stepwell renovation, self funded something around 22 lakhs, not even a single penny from the government. And they have reconstructed this stepwell, which looks magnificent. And they celebrate stepwell Deepotsav approximately 3 times in a year at this stepwell. The Raipur stepwell. Raipur stepwell today is looking beautiful. But just imagine this stepwell was covered with mud approx about till 80%. 80% of the stepwell was filled with mud. The locals made best use of the lockdown, India-wide lockdown. In the month of April, May 2020, they all came together and started digging up the stepwells slowly, step by step, step by step. And today this stepwell looks magnificently beautiful. I have seen this personally. I've seen all the stepwells personally, and that is the reason I say that I personally love the stepwells in Parmani district. Stepwells in Marathwada, Aurangabad, Jalna, I like. Paradgaon stepwell, Jalna is beautiful. Different octagonal type of stepwell, which is very rare in the state of Maharashtra. Octagonal stepwells. Devgiri Fort stepwell. Many people tend to directly go up to the Devgiri Fort. So once you enter the Devgiri base, basically Devgiri Fort base, just turn to the left hand side and you will see this magnificent 2 to 3 storied stepwell. Actually is quite huge. Paranga Fort has a magnificent stepwell. Verur again is very beautiful stepwell near Ellora Caves. Sondara stepwell. The local villagers of this Sondara village, they came forward and have done this basic preservation of the stepwell recently in last few months. Jagji stepwell, I visited this in the last month only. A beautiful stepwell, really magnificent stepwell. And this is a state protected stepwell. The recently some work is being done of the restoration part by the state archaeology. Hats off to the efforts. Stepwells in Marathwada. Wagru stepwell is a huge Shivpindi shaped stepwell. Ambad stepwell is being built by Maharani Ahilyabai Holkar, is what the locals say. And that is actually a pokhran, a huge form of stepwell. Basegaon stepwell is there, Janla. I'll make a special mention of Basegaon stepwell in my later slide. And I will tell you why too. Just see the stepwell. Amazing. Three-side entrance stepwell. And the stepwell is right in the front of Ram Mandir. Ramlinga Mandir stepwell, basically. Stepwells in Bulgana, Akola. So if you see this Bagachi Vihir, Satargao, this is hold by there's a, I had requested a owner to let me in. I explained him about this campaign and why I'm planning to visit this stepwell. He allowed me to step in and see this magnificent stepwell. This is a 3 storied stepwell. Lalbagh stepwell again is approx about a 2 storied stepwell and is a huge L-shaped stepwell, the biggest L-shaped stepwell I've ever seen. Anjani Khurd is approx about just say 30 minutes from Lonar. Everyone tends to visit Lonar, which is actually beautiful. But do take some time out and do visit this Anjani Khurd stepwell as well. You will love it. Barshi Kakri stepwell, Akola. So Barshi Kakri stepwell, also the owner said that he cleans the stepwell every week, and that is the reason he has kept it very clean basically. Pinzar stepwell, Barshi Kakri, Akola. Again a very beautiful stepwell. Stepwells in Amravati. Now this Mahimapur stepwell which I was talking of is a 5-storied stepwell. Rudrapur again has 4 layers of landings and is a huge stepwell. Stepwells in Vidarbha. Now Talegaon Dashasar stepwell is very similar to this Rudrapur stepwell. It has entrance from 3 sides basically. Pawnee stepwell. I won't specifically mention about the stepwell. I have not seen this personally, but I have seen the video of the stepwell along with the pics. I must say that it would be one of the top 3 stepwells in the state of Maharashtra, because there are numerous chambers inside it and some rooms as well, and it has lot of idols and intricate carvings on the stepwell, which you will not find much in the state of Maharashtra. Stepwells in the east Vidarbha, Nagpur. Now Adasa village has 4 stepwells. Ramtek again is a small hillock which consists of stepwells as well as temples. A must visit place basically. I'm yet to visit Nagpur. I wanted to go to Nagpur, but then during my journey, it was like actually a self-funded project for me. uh, I spent approx about 1.5 lakhs on this project for this traveling across Maharashtra on my bike. I remember I had went to Amravati and there was just approx about 6,500 rupees left in my pocket or my bank combined together. I actually wanted to go up to Gadichiroi, but then unfortunately my bike tire tore up actually, and I had to change my bike tire. Something around 3,500 rupees I had spent there, and just about 3,000 were left with me. I spent the last 2 days eating just one vada pav and surviving on it. And then I decided to come back to Maharashtra. And then I remember I came back in the month of February and the March first week. I again wanted to pursue this campaign as my FD was due. I thought in April or May I will again travel to Solapur or say Latur, Nanded side. But then there was sudden lockdown again in the state during the third wave. So I could not travel anywhere. Again, 4 months, 5 months of rainy season. And then again in the since last November, December, Jan, Feb, I have made I have covered up 4 districts. I did Kolhapur trip for stepwells. I did Solapur, I did Beed, and I went to Osmanabad as well to generate awareness amongst the public over there. Stepwells in East Vidarbha, Chandrapur side. So Chandrapur, there's a person called as Bandhu Dhotre. His group name is EcoPro. They are doing magnificent work out there, because I must appreciate the work being done by different NGOs or different people across Maharashtra. He, along with his team of EcoPro, they are actually preserving the heritage over there at Chandrapur. So no one ever believed that Chandrapur, as far as the east side of Maharashtra, would have some magnificent stepwells. So why documentation checklist is important? Like people used to write blogs on Facebook or upload videos on YouTube, but this is not going to solve the purpose basically. The stepwells are going to stay in the state of misery only. You will get 500 likes, you will get 50,000 likes, but what is the use? And if you refer these 2 blogs, these 2 blogs are of my friends only. But what I told them is that you will not able to identify or do any kind of research based on these blogs. All this data needs to be converted into proper documentation format or proper Excel sheets. Like this is the architecture documentation checklist which have shown it to the state archaeology as well, and they appreciated the stepwell the documentation checklist. They said that almost we have covered 90% of what we have as our documentation checklist. Some 10% needs to be added on, that we will provide it to you. So this is the map number, stepwell shape, built up, number of entrances, numbers of layers of flanking, steps, arcs, pulleys, private property or not, stepwell owner, and the documentation basically, which I was explaining to you earlier. This entire data then will be converted into JPEG format and will be uploaded on the stepwells map, which I showed to you. So it will be like a slideshow basically. Numerous videos will be uploaded, drone shots, the heritage documentation will be converted into JPEG format, the normal documentation will be converted into JPEG format, then the architectural documentations will be converted into JPEG format and will be uploaded there. So whichever team or whichever group or whichever individual has done his work, his name will come at the bottom and the photo will be uploaded there. So this is the database which we will be having going forward. So just imagine the type of database Maharashtra will be having at one centralized place going forward. Say 10 years down the line, even if someone asks me, Rohan, just tell me how many Yadav Kalin stepwells are there, or how many one side entrance or some L-shaped stepwells are there, I will be able to tell in just one click basically. There are stepwells in the form of Shivpindi, that is one side entrance. There are T-shaped stepwells. There are U-shaped stepwells. There are Z-shaped stepwells. Then there are entrance from four sides, entrance from three sides. So just imagine the architectural beauty of stepwells across Maharashtra. So this is the stepwell format going forward. In just one click, you will be able to access all this information. And then it will be like a slideshow in terms of photos, videos, architectural documentation. So taking you from a book format to a very digitalized format is the near future for the Stepwell campaign. The architectural documentation. Why architectural documentation is a must or a mandatory for the Stepwell campaign? If you see the Jalna stepwell, this is the same stepwell which I had showed you for the Batsigaon village. Now both these are Ramlinga Mandir's temple stepwells. The stepwell at Jalna is in very good condition, but the stepwell at Satara, Gursari village, is completely dilapidated. There is nothing left in the well shaft basically. So what I mean to say is that if we do proper documentation, architectural, photographic documentation, including drone shots of the stepwells which are in good condition, wherever the fundings come in the near future, we will be able to reconstruct our ancient stepwells in the same format, in the same way that they were originally constructed. It should not happen like the architect says that let me build something out of my own concept or out of my own creativity. All the original essence of that stepwell will get lost otherwise. The cleanliness drives, like this was done approximately 6 months back, but I must say that the way we have entire Maharashtra has celebrated a stepwell Deepotsav. 160 stepwells got cleaned up in one shot within 1 week. Massive effort of people across Maharashtra. Hats off to them. There are many Durga Samvardhan Samsthas, Durgavir Pratishthan, Bar Raigad Parivar. They both have helped me set up this campaign in Paschim Maharashtra and Konkan. Their members did come along with me to show the respective stepwells in their village. So going forward, we will be creating a database of different sections of districts, or like this were the 12 different sections actually needed for the stepwell campaign, along with the local villages as well, definitely. So we'll be creating a cross-functional team across 35 districts of Maharashtra and a functional team across 35 districts of Maharashtra and a cross-functional team across every district of Maharashtra. The study of the ancient trade routes. So these are some stepwells. The beauty of this stepwell is that one of my friend Akshay Pawar, he's from Guwahati Taluka. He knows about this stepwell, which he used to say is the largest stepwell in Konkan region. I told him just show me the video. When I actually looked at the video, I told him that yes, this is the biggest stepwell in Konkan because I have personally explored many stepwells in Konkan on my visit, but I did not find a stepwell as huge as this one. The opening of the entrance leading to the well shaft is 12 feet broad, which I did not find in any other stepwells. They were hardly 5 to 6 feet in width. So this stepwell marked at 1001. Opposite to that is Gabor Port, which is an ancient 12th or 13th century port. This is the Vashishti Nadi, which flows in between. The left hand side it goes to Khed, on the right hand side it goes to Chiplot. So if someone had to build a stepwell as huge as this one, then why did it built at this spot only, which is on a hillock? Why not at Gabor? Why not at Khed? Or why not at Chiplot? So the research work is going on. And a stepwell Deepotsam. 160 stepwells. These stepwell pics are of last year basically. On the day of Mahashivratri or Holi or Gudi Padwa, the stepwells were lit up. I'll showcase some of the magnificent stepwells which were lit up just 3 days back on the day of Mahashivratri. So I would request everyone to join hands to revive our stepwells for water conservation and for heritage conservation. So I'll just take you through the stepwells as well. This is a L-shaped stepwell of Girim village in the Down Taluka, Pune district. Just see how magnificent this stepwell looks like. Maheshwar Youth Foundation. One of my friends works in this. They have a group called as Maheshwar Youth Foundation. His name is Shrikant Hangare Dada. They along with his friend circle, they decorated this stepwell. The stepwell is of Deulgaon village in Srigonda Taluka of Ahmednagar. Rajesh Ingre, I would make a special mention of this person. He's a professor, teaches young students. After his working hours, he used to travel to different villages in his taluka, and he, along with his group of 4 5 friends, they located 70 stepwells in Srigonda Taluka of Ahmednagar. There are 52 stepwells are still there alive. 18 stepwells were like gone in construction or something. ते बोलतात ना बुजवून टाकलेले आहेत असं आहे. So this again is must be a Yadavkalin stepwell, a magnificent stepwell. So the Shivdurga Trekkers Foundation is their group name. They contributed by letting up stepwells at approximately 22 to 24 locations across Ahmednagar and Pune district. This is the Jagji stepwell. There's an ex-army person whom I was in touch with and belongs to this village. He told me that Rohan, don't worry, I'll take care of the stepwell Deepotsam from my side. And they actually all the villagers came forward and have lit up the stepwell. Besides this is a Mahalakshmi temple, and this Mahalakshmi temple stepwell Jagji place, Osmanabad Jilla. This is again a magnificent stepwell, Shekta Barau Paithan Taluka, Aurangabad Jilla. Again, must be a Yadavkalin stepwell for sure. Looking at the size or even the architectural beauty of the stepwell. Here, one of our, I cannot call him a friend, is way senior to me. Shrikant Umrikar sir. Shrikant sir actually helped me a lot during my tour to Marathwada. He introduced me to his friends from Parbani side, Mallarikant Deshmukh and Lakshmikant Sonvatkar. And with active support from all of them, have kind to map numerous stepwells, and they are doing very good work actually. Shrikant sir and his team. They have a group called as Bhatka Tanda. They actually went there and motivated the villagers to restore the stepwell and then let up the stepwell as well. There's again hats off efforts to Bar Aigad Parivar. They actually helped me set up the stepwell campaign a year back. And then again, they contributed a lot. Approx about 15 to 20 stepwells they lit up they celebrated Deepotsav at this 15 to 20 stepwells across Nagpur, few at Latur, few at Pune, and few in the Karjat side, Panvel side, Thane side as well. This is the same stepwell. So just imagine how beautiful it looks like when people come together and they celebrate this stepwell Deepotsav. It is like creating a bonding across Maharashtra to save our heritage. And this would not be just stepwells. Basically, now as people have come together, they know that the power of unity and they can actually go a way forward, long way in conserving the entire heritage of Maharashtra. This stepwell, I must make a special mention of Vaibhav Dada, Vaibhav Khatpe from Baraigad Parivar. I had went to Karjat side, Karjat Khalapur to brief the teams over there. Four Durga Samvardhan Sanskars came forward from Karjat Khalapur Taluka and they actually celebrated stepwell Deepotsav first, cleaned up all this 15-20 stepwells and then celebrated the Deepotsav over there. And then while coming back, I visited this place called as Ashte village in Panvel Taluka of Raigad district. I just managed to like ask someone that is there a stepwell. They said that yes, there is a stepwell, and this is just a new stepwell 1651 stepwell which are located here. I just called up Vaibhav and asked him, Vaibhav, I have found a stepwell here, located stepwell here, कि इसके ऊपर दीपोत्सव कर सकते हैं क्या, दीपोत्सव करता येईल का ह्याच्यावर. So he said that I will personally go there. And within just 2 days of short notice to him, he actually went there along with his friends from Baraigad Parivar and they have lit up this temple. Hats off to him. This again a special mention of Durgavir Sanskar, Durgavir Pratishthan from Konkan side. They helped me a lot set up this temple campaign while I was touring Konkan a year back. Just see how the temple was. Within short notice of say 5 days or something, they have lit up this temple. They have just done all the conservation as well, and they have lit up this temple as well. So I'll showcase some more stepwells, which Devendra Mayekar from Alibag. I was in touch with him. I have not met him personally, but this stepwell will help, will hold a special place in my heart because this is my village stepwell. I have not met him personally, but I would love to meet him as well as the entire group who took special efforts to clean this entire stepwell because this was also the first stepwell which I saw during my stepwell journey, which started in the month of October 2020. The stepwell is of Mansard side, Ambegaon Taluka, Pune district. This stepwell was decorated by four different groups. My friend Akash Karad from Ambajogai. When I had recently been there a month back when he had promised me that Rohan, we will be doing the stepwell Deepotsav. Don't worry, be relaxed. We will come forward as some 3-4 groups will come forward and do the stepwell Deepotsav. This is the Badlapur stepwell which Bar Raigad has decorated with the help of local villagers. This is the Charthana stepwell which I personally explored Lakshmikant Sonvatkar sir from Charthana village and his group of friends along with the help of locals. They decorated this stepwell which is a 12th century stepwell. Just beside the stepwell is Gokuleshwar temple which is I feel again is a 12th century temple. Shekta Barao, where which I mentioned, Shrikant Umrikar sir. This is again Bhausingpura of Aurangabad, near Bhausingpura in near Aurangabad is a place where Ashwin Lokhande sir came forward. He's a very passionate for folks basically. He and his team decorated lit up diyas and five different step wells. Shetta stepwell. Just imagine that it was like a second Diwali for all of us basically. All our stepwells turned into gold. So this is again a very huge stepwell like Mansa. Do visit the stepwell, you will love it. So these are the stepwell focus of Karjat and Khalapur Taluka. 15 to 16 stepwells were lit up by four different Durga Samvardhan Sanskars. This stepwell is on the actual route, the Pradakshina Marg of Ganpati Pule. Just besides to Ganpati Pule main temple is the stepwell. Our friend Shri Rang Masurkar helped me a lot actually to discover many stepwells in Konkan side in the last 6 months or so. Along with one of our friends, Vinay Khare. I have not met them personally, Vinay and Shri Rang, but both are very nice persons. Like, love them actually. They have taken lots of efforts to locate the stepwells. So this is the stepwell on the Karjat. If you manage to go to Panvel, Chowk, Karjat Road, this stepwell just lies on the left hand side of the road. Just imagine the stepwell condition. I remember Jaikant Shinkre from the Durga Rakshak Force, DR Force Maharashtra. It is a Durga Samvardhan Sanstha. He just two of them had went there, cleaned this entire stepwell, and then lit up the stepwell at night. So just imagine the efforts. Just two of them managed this entire thing. Then this again stepwell is from the Karjat Taluka, Deogaon village, Ahmednagar. So these are a few of the stepwells which I wanted to showcase. I'll be uploading all the stepwells along with the teams who have worked on this stepwells, taken efforts on the www.indianstepwells.com website as well as the Maharashtra Baro Mohim map as well. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to present this campaign to all of you.
In fact, thanks to you, Rohan, had this been in a personal gathering, I think you would have got a standing ovation. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, this is a very, very solid example of what passion, determination, backed by solid research can do. And kudos to you and the entire team. I'm sure, I mean, I'm
Like
sure everyone
each
shares.
each each and every newspaper published this article on Maharashtra Stepwell Deepotsav across
Yes,
Maharashtra. They
yes,
are the media is actually uploading the efforts by each and everyone across Maharashtra.
yes. I mean, we in college, and we have always been talking about public participation in all these things, but this is really, it's very, very inspiring, and I'm speechless. I mean, I really don't know how to express. So I open it for discussion for to
Just
everyone.
give
I
me
mean,
2 minutes. I just need to drink water.
yeah,
Just give me
sure,
two
sure.
minutes.
Please,
Yeah,
please,
sure.
please. Yeah, we'll wait. So if any one of you would like to ask or contribute, please go ahead. Let him have some water, and then we can.
Uh, Chetna ma'am, I must congratulate you also because you somehow found him and brought him to this platform so that he
He was
can,
seen everywhere. We didn't have to find him.
I mean, find him in a sense, ki, huh? I mean, you brought him to this platform. So thank
Yes,
you so much
we are so
and
happy.
credits to you as well. Uh,
To the entire team of Sambasha. It's not me. In fact,
I mean,
I'm seeing him. Yep. So if you would like to ask Rohan anything, please go ahead. Or
I was waiting, let others say, because I have lots of inputs for him.
Sure.
And because I'm equally ecstatic because I have already done my research involves stepwell forts of Gujarat also. So, uh,
Okay.
so
Wow.
I was waiting that others should talk to him first,
Yes,
and I'll wait till they
be
finish.
sure. Maybe, you could also write to him later if you, I mean, you can talk to him right now, but if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
still
For a
want to
detailed,
take it ahead, you can, yeah, you can do it. Anyone else wants to
There is
say
one
anything?
question. There is one question from one ma'am. She has asked that what inscriptions have so far been found.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's a friend of mine, Anil Dudani. He is working only on the inscriptions part, and we soon will be converting all these inscriptions to the. Will be uploading entire inscriptions of say 50 to 60 stepwells on the Maharashtra Stepwells website as well as the Maharashtra Baro Mohim map. So just wait for a couple of months or maybe 2 to 3 months more. As all these inscriptions are decoded, then we will surely let you know.
Okay, thank you. Great. Any other questions or whatever, I mean, suggestions? Okay.
may I?
Yeah, please tell,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Okay. There very basic thing. I mean, from how where do you draw the investment? The capital, because
Okay.
see, uh, I don't think so. I mean, people will just go and
Hmm.
okay, आपने
Hmm.
कहा है हम
Hmm.
कर देते हैं.
Okay.
Was there
Sure.
any kind of that kind of an experience कि यार हम कर तो देंगे लेकिन हमें मिलेगा क्या?
Okay.
Something.
Okay.
How did you
See,
manage that?
yes, yes. So inspiring people is tough actually. And being from the HR side, I know that people connect. Basically, I am very jolly person as well. So as a HR, I always look forward to the management and the employees, working as a link between the management as the employees. And the same way, here I am acting as a link between the government and the public as well. Okay, so what I'm doing actually is that I'm holding this entire project together and telling them that we need this 12 to 13 different sections of people for the Stepwell campaign. And the NGOs then can raise funds through CSR or through some government work, government some schemes or something, and then do the revival part. I can provide the necessary inputs to them. And Mahashivratri being a very important festival for people, then it automatically gives an emotional connect to them as well. Because if you see the stepwells, many of them are actually in the form of Shiv Pindi or attached to some Shiv mandirs. So they can actually celebrate some stepwell Deepotsam. And in the last 3 days, many of them have come forward and say that from next year, even we will participate in it or we will keep this going for long. So I was actually very happy to see the response from people. And yes, there are pre-Yadava stepwells as well. There must be some Chalukya-Kalin stepwells as well. So that is the reason I mentioned that let this work being done by the Indologists or the historians who have been taught the work on architecture, Stapatya Shaili, how to identify the different forms of stepwells or the different so let them come forward, work as one team, and then do the documentation part of stepwells.
Uh, there is something that I would like to say, that there is
Sure,
an
ma'am.
input.
There's
Uh,
just one question before that, Dr. Satsangi. Can we just take the question first?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Sure.
So, Rohan, there is a question
Yes.
says, if we analyze the period in which the stepwells were constructed, do you see any pattern, such as older ones are in Marathwada, recent ones in West, etc.?
Yes, yes, I do see patterns. Like if you go towards the Marathwada side, you will see the Yadav-Kalin stepwells. But if you see the numerous Shivpindi stepwells or something, you will find many such stepwells in the being built during the Maratha Empire. Basically, Maratha will consist of Peshwe, Holkar, Marathas, etc. Because these temples are not intricately carved or something. This was built for basically public only. So these are very short, maybe in like 10 12 feet or 15 feet or 20 feet in length or something. These are not as huge as the ones in Vidarbha or something. Yes, and if you see the work of Maharani Ahilyabai Holkar, she has built numerous stepwells across Maharashtra, specifically on the northern front, because Sandwad was a second capital after Indore. Maheshwar, after Maheshwar, Sandwad at Nashik was the second capital of Maharani Ahilyabai Holkar. So that entire region of Nashik, Jalgaon, Dhule, she has built numerous stepwells over there during the 17th, 18th century. Yes, ma'am. Anita, ma'am. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
Uh,
Please.
See, of all the steps wells
Mhm.
in Maharashtra, whichever you have highlighted,
Mhm.
uh, actually, as a tradition, the step well goes for as a very at a very folk level.
Okay.
It was not like a main or elite art form
Mhm.
system,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it was associated with local villager as a ritual, and that is why, because my study for from Gujarat, because at one time there was no separate Gujarat or Maharashtra, it was one big
Mhm. Mhm.
state,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
I looked that way, and that is why if that thing is available in Gujarat, it has to be there in Maharashtra also. That is my conviction. But
Mhm. Mhm.
okay, so
Okay.
as per the local participation, if they are really made aware that what was the purpose, because now the generation is new, they do not
Mhm. Mhm.
understand the need of the step well or construct of the step well. So
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
ritual was basically not only the water collection, bathing, but it was also a summer retreat for the village folk persons,
Travelers,
the
basically.
older,
Yes.
rather than
Mhm. Mhm.
travelers, the village
Mhm.
holders, the women folks, and
Mhm.
the kids, and
Okay.
also for those who are the farmers. So
Mhm. Mhm.
whichever step wells are there, they were
Mhm. Mhm.
basically connected to the estuary of a river, or
Mhm.
a flow, or a nerve of a river, and
Mhm.
then at the edge of the village or at the edge of
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
small town, this
Okay.
will be built up so that in the evening they can go out and kind of a resort kind of thing, they can even pray.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
was thinking ki, like if this kind of awareness can be made, that
Mhm.
instead of going to really big resort and all those things, let's develop
Mhm. Mhm.
our own village resort in the form of reviving the step wells, where all the people of the community can come together without
Mhm.
any fees and decorate it, pray, and have water, and it is like natural coolant, you can just sit there and relax. So that was the essential part. Apart from that, I had discovered in many of the step wells from Gujarat, across Gujarat, that they were essentially depicting some scenes which will keep the step wells filled with water,
Okay.
like sort of a ritual.
Mhm. Mhm.
And these rituals were, uh, I may not say it here, but I mean these rituals were depicted slightly erotic. They are very erotic scenes on the step wells,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it is just like warding off, कहते हैं ना दृष्टि निकालना, ऐसा.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
thing, and also to pray and expect the fertility of the step well. So these are there, and this is essentially the common folkish thought among the people who are really taking care of the stepwells. So maybe, like we can tell them this important aspect. Maybe, I do not know. I'm not very sure how people of this generation will take up these things, but
Mhm.
अगर वो भी हुआ तो वो भी मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि और ज्यादा अच्छी बात होगी, हम लोग अपने फोक ट्रेडिशन के साथ में जुड़ जाएंगे, एंड हेरिटेज विल बी सेव्ड, ऐसा मुझे लगता है. एंड just last I can converse over email to you, but the last which people can listen to is that in your list of people who can contribute, you have you have historians. They will give you the historical background, but uh, you should also have an art historian. In absence of inscription, in absence of historical data, only the art historian will able to tell you through the stylistic method, locations, that which period this stepwell belongs to.
Okay.
Maybe you can take it that I am asking that please involve me into your campaign.
Okay.
So this is
Here, if you
thank
see
you.
in like Maharashtra, there are numerous colleges who teach Indology as a subject or ancient Indian culture as a subject, and they are
Hmm.
actually taught how to identify that which temple or which stepwell or which say caves belongs to which era. So that is
Um,
the reason I'm taking help of Indologists as well as historians as well for this campaign.
okay.
Yes.
ठीक है, I mean, because art historians they also work in those places, and I have already done a lot of work. ठीक है, it's okay. I was
Dr.
just thinking.
Samsangi,
And
he's not saying
Ani,
that you
Ani,
नहीं,
should not join him.
नहीं, मैं
no, no,
मैं
no.
Just
मैं
I'm
telling
not. I'm
him.
not saying.
it is
I'm just
okay. It is
saying.
okay.
Yes, yes, yes. And
It is
Anita, madam,
okay.
one more special mention I would like to make.
Yeah.
While I was with my earlier company Sun Pharma, I
Uh-huh.
used to travel frequently to Gujarat for office-related work.
Yeah, yeah.
Then, some 4 years back, I had explored 60 to 70 stepwells in Gujarat. Many of which stepwells I've explored in Gujarat. And
I know.
I
There are
yes,
many.
and I have few friends as well in
Uh-huh.
Gujarat who are
Uh-huh.
stepwell explorers. I always discuss a lot with them as well.
You know,
So if I yes,
आपने जैसे अहिल्याबाई होलकर का नाम लिया.
hmm,
In Gujarat,
okay,
during say 12th to 16th century, the local
hmm,
Muslim rulers वो लोग
okay,
अवार्ड देते थे लोगों को कि
okay,
अगर आपने रोड साइड पे ट्री लगाया, अगर आप
hmm,
फार्म में पेड़ लगा रहे हैं, तो राजा अपने खर्चे से उसके फार्म में ये स्टेपवेल्स बना के देते थे.
okay, okay,
That was
hmm,
like
hmm,
token of inspiration. This is written record. I mean, this is a
okay,
written record. तो
hmm, hmm,
इसलिए गुजरात में on the highways, in the
okay,
farms, and near the foothills of the mountain, you will
okay,
find lot of tanks, big huge tanks
hmm,
and
hmm,
small
hmm,
tanks or helical
okay,
valve or step
okay,
wells. And because I told you that it was a ritual also, so you will find associated with mosques, with temples, and other things also. So it's very interesting. I mean, this that is why I told you that it has a lot to do with the local folkish kind of cultures. It wasn't very elite kind of system. तो मजा आया. बहुत आपका बात सुन के बहुत मजा आया. I got really inspired. I was thinking आपसे कब बात हो पाएगी.
sure.
So I was waiting for my turn. Thank you for
Thank you, ma'am.
such a wonderful project. Congratulations. Best of
Thank you,
luck.
ma'am. Ma'am, where do you reside?
I reside in Pune.
In Pune. Okay, I keep coming to Pune at least once in 2 months or something.
Oh,
Like
sure.
that time, I will surely come to meet you.
Uh, okay, okay. Thank you
Sure,
for that consideration.
sure. Okay,
I end my questions series. There are
okay,
a lot,
sure.
but we can talk otherwise.
Sure, sure, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
the host. Thank you.
If anyone else has any questions, I think Shubha had something. Is there a reservoir stepwell identified at Hisse Borale?
In
Hisse Borale, Borala village.
uh, I've not heard about this place. Maybe if you can pass on some information. Washim, Washim district. If you can, I will just search on my Google map if this is mapped or not. If not, then I will surely try to find it through a few of my friends over there.
So, okay. If there are no other questions, I thank you, Rohan, for
Sure.
making it
Thank you.
convenient to come here and share your campaign and your experience
Sure.
and the entire research methodology. And I really think this can make a replicable model in all parts of India. So, I mean, the kind of methodology you have developed, I think this is replicable, and that is what we need. So, all the best to you from us.
Thanks,
If
ma'am.
there's
Thanks
anything,
for giving me an opportunity to
yeah,
present this
is there
campaign.
anything that we can do? Do let us know, and we will be happy to
Sure, sure, sure,
extend whatever help we can.
sure.
Thank you all of you for being here. Please do send us the feedback forms so that we know where to, how to take things ahead and improve if we are lacking in something. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks a
once
lot.
again,
Yeah,
Rohan.
thanks.
Let's keep
Yeah.
in touch.
Sure, sure. Okay. Good night.
Good night.